Yeah, just first of all, congratulations to the 7 other teams that made it to the College World Series. I told my team as we began our journey that this is obviously the greatest show on dirt and the greatest opportunity for student athletes in our sport to play. It's a great opportunity to be here. It's a great atmosphere, and just a great process to celebrate the final 8 teams at the College World Series in Oklahoma City. Thanks to USA Softball, Oklahoma City, and University of Oklahoma for hosting the event, and we're looking forward to a great. I don't even know how many days we play now, but a great series of softball. This is we're pleased to be here, happy, and thanks.
Questions? Okay, we go second row on the left here to Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff Brunn, Associated Press. Coach, SEC's always been crazy. You add a couple of teams, including the one that you're about to play. Just how insane was the conference this year, and how prepared does that help you be in this situation?
Yeah, on Saturday of the final SEC home game, I congratulated Coach Gasso at home plate for winning the SEC. I believe they won it the night before we beat them, but another team lost the game, so they won the conference outright. So I congratulated her at home plate, and she gave me the look and she said, "Did we?" Because it certainly didn't feel like it. And I think that's just a pretty good quote. It's obviously her quote to me, but I think that just sums up just how tough this league really was this year. The co-champions at the SEC tournament, the league itself, 7 losses by Oklahoma. I don't remember even how many. I think we had 11 losses. It was just a battle every single weekend. The 13 teams that made it to the regional finals on that Sunday in our league of 14 teams making it just says a ton about the preparation that each one of our coaching staffs and the players. But the most important thing that I'll say is just the support system that we have at home at the University of Florida and what they provide our coaches, our staffs, our fans, our players. The support that we have is endless, and you see that in the finished product on the field. It's just how our players take all the resources that they have, and that to me is just something that's really evolved in my time in this game, and I'm very, very happy to be where I'm at.
Okay, we'll go front row over here on the right.
Brady Vernon, Softball America. Tim, Keegan had her 2 longest outings since coming back from injury last week. Just what has that ramp-up been like in terms of velocity and spin rate just kind of coming into this week?
Yeah, the velocity piece never really vanished, per se. She still was throwing pitches. I think the one thing you can see, the spin rate piece in Georgia on Friday night, or Friday, I guess it was Friday afternoon when we played, she had more swing and misses in that Friday game than she had probably in her previous 15 games. She has a ton of swing and misses. So the spin rate's up. Things are starting to break a lot better. She's getting the ball in and out of the zone like she's accustomed to doing. We didn't have our data in stadium. We didn't have what was going on in the stadium, but things weren't quite the same as they were in practices, and she's repeating that. But the injury was just an odd injury, and she really never lost any velocity. She took a couple weeks off from pitching, and I think that the one thing that really probably impacted the most just the sharpness in game, being able to get her pitches in the right locations. But I think she's this weekend she pitched really well. She's had some really good 3 or 4 inning stints, from a lot of good teams, including, the Oklahoma series and even Ole Miss on the, in the SEC tournament.
All right, we'll now go to front row left here to Mason.
Mason Young, Tulsa World. Coach, since you mentioned Coach Gasso in Oklahoma, I wanted to ask you for your thoughts on the coaching job that she's done this year after losing as many players as she did last year to be able to get this team back to OKC.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair to my players to answer that question. I think we're here to talk about the Gators and what we're doing. They obviously do a fantastic job, and nothing against that question. I think to me, I'm here to talk about my team.
Okay, we'll stay front row left to Jenny.
Hey, Kendra, you guys were obviously here last year. I'm just curious, what part did last year play in this season, whether motivation or learning, or how did 24 play into 25?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing we talked about when we got back together in the locker room in the fall was literally like, we want to get back to OKC and we have an unfinished job to finish. And that sour taste in the mouth, and just obviously this is Taylor's first year, so just letting her know that this is going to be a lot of fun. And our story's not over yet, and we're all on the same page, and we're ready to come here and we're ready to win. So it's also nice too that we have a lot of people that have already been here before. So we have a lot of young players that were here last year that have experience. We have older players that have been here that have experience. And then we also have transfers that have been here. So we have a lot of experience. We have a lot of people who have been here before, and just making it comfortable for the people who haven't.
Tim, I have a whole other question to ask you. Since you guys were here last, Oklahoma City was awarded the Olympics in 28. I know you're obviously focused on your team, but everybody sort of has an eye on international competition. What are just your thoughts about this being an Olympic venue in a few years and Team USA sort of budding out of this place?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a great training opportunity. You know, naming Coach Gasso as the head coach is good for Team USA and the location of Norman, Oklahoma, to having technology that USA softball players haven't had, quite frankly, in training and playing and training opportunities. So we got a lot of catching up to do to get on the same level as where Japan's at right now currently in the in international play, and they're really good. They know how to win the last game, and we got a lot of work to do. But I think the cool thing is there's a lot of really good players to select from. There's a lot of young players that are that are capable, and there's a lot of veteran players that have really carried that torch and continued that march. And so obviously the sport's in good hands. There's a lot of good softball all the way across the world, and obviously I spent a long time with Team USA, and just the players in it. They're hungry, they're passionate, they want to win, and it's a great place for them to play and on home soil. I mean, obviously it's the LA Olympics in Oklahoma City, but this is the best facility to house this many good softball players, so it makes sense.
Okay, we go second row on the right here.
Yes, for Taylor, Chris Harry, FloridaGators.com. You said before the season, you mentioned how Kendra had kind of taken you under her wing and kind of starting to walk you into the season, and here you are sitting next to her in Oklahoma City. Can you just put into context what the last year has been like? You also said you used to watch the Gators on your laptop computer and yell in classroom in high school, and here you are with your coach, and then your award last night. Can you just speak to the whole thing?
I mean, I think it's all just kind of really, really surreal. It's crazy to think that I'm here after watching it for so many years, and to be able to be here with some of my best friends on planet Earth is just an unreal experience. It's an unreal venue, so many amazing softball fans. We're growing the game that we've been playing since we were 5-6 years old. And to be able to be a part of it and to be able to help grow the game that I love so much is really, really special, and especially to do it with the people that I'm doing it with.
Okay, we go the second row on the left here to Cliff.
Do I need to say my name again?
Sure.
All right. Cliff Brunn, Associated Press. Coach Walton, you mentioned Japan earlier, and I wanted to ask you your thoughts after, I think, 5 years now of what your opinion is of Athletes Unlimited and what they've brought to the sport and the possibilities now with them adding the team format to the individual format and what that can do for the game going forward.
Yeah, and I've always been an advocate of the game. I've coached professionally myself with in the MPF, and I'll be brief because I just again want to talk about my athletes. I think it's an awesome opportunity that softball players have an opportunity to be called professionals. I have a player in my program who plays on the Athletes Unlimited group that trains with us and is one of our grad managers, and it's an awesome opportunity for her to be a professional softball player to bridge that gap to hopefully, trying out for Team USA and getting a chance to compete on that roster. So I think it's great. Anybody that can invest in female student athletes to become female professionals is I'm a fan of theirs. I think it's a great game. It's a fun thing to watch for people of all ages and from all over this country, and a lot of people have probably never even been to a fast pitch softball game and watched some really good competition. And so I think it's awesome that Athletes Unlimited is branching out and basically training and paying more athletes. And we've got a ton of former Gators playing, and I'm really, really proud of them being able to continue their dreams.
Okay, we go front row to the right.
Brady Vernon, Softball America. Tim, Taylor's season's pretty remarkable regardless of the fact she's a freshman. Just why have those tools kind of translated so quickly and just elevating to one of the best in the game already?
Yeah, I think we've talked long and hard just about how she's been able to simplify the process and continue. From the beginning of August to when we got her to where we are now. There were some speed bumps along the way, and there were some thoughts and process about it's gotten really hard, and made some adjustments and then figured out we're making too many adjustments, and just at the end of the day, it's all about building relationships and trying. Number one, relationships, the relationship you have with yourself when things get hard. I think Kendra can speak to that. Taylor can speak to that. I can speak to that. But just the ability to simplify things. It's not a very complicated process. It's a beautiful swing. It's something to, anybody that comes out and watches, they don't even know anything. I'm like, wow, that's a really, 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 really pretty swing. It's good. She's competitive. She's strong. She can leverage balls. But the ability to hit the ball from left field pole to right field pole is just something that not a lot of people can do, especially with some power. But I feel like she can hit any pitch. And now she's been really working hard, even from her junior year on, not just to hit the ball, but to actually hit the ball with a purpose and have some intent behind it, and still hit for a high average. And then the one thing I think that we've added to the equation is now the discipline to, when they're trying to walk you, take ball 4. Don't put the ball in play weakly just because you want to hit. So she's learned that piece, and I think that's something that takes a little bit of time to do. And she's really, in my opinion, you could ask her the same question, but she's just gelled really well with not only the process, but her teammates, the program, the coaches, and then ultimately we listen to her when she talks because she knows her swing better than we do.
Okay, we'll stay on the right and go to the second row.
All right, for Tim and Kendra, Chris Harry, FloridaGators.com. You already spoke to the nature of the strength of the SEC. Your half of the bracket is basically, it looks like the top 4 seeds are there. It looks like a SEC championship. It looks like a national semifinal championship. Can you just talk about how the bracket fell, and are you we need to reseed this, or are you an it is what it is guy kind of?
Yeah, I know we're 3 seed. I don't even know what anybody else is seeded. So I don't care. We're going to have to play. If you're going to win a championship, you got to play good teams anyway. So what's it matter? I think that to me it doesn't matter. It's we've beaten everybody in the country, and we've lost to people. So I think it's just going to be who can handle the moment, who can make less excuses and figure out how to play softball. I think that's what we're here to do. We're here to play. And we play Texas the first game. It's going to be dang tough on them, and it's going to be dang tough on us. So I don't think it really matters. I mean, there's obviously, you can go through all the process of seeding and reseeding, and then somebody's going to complain about something. So to me, it's here we are. We're here to play ball, and we've got an opportunity to march through June, which is something that we set out as one of our goals.
Kendra, can you follow up, please?
Yeah, I think it's exactly what Coach Walton said, that it is what it is, and we're just, again, we're happy to be here. This was our goal. Now we just focus on playing Texas, and then whatever after that. Our main goal is come out tomorrow, be the Gators, and if we're the Gators, everything's going to be fine.
Okay, this will be our last question, second row on the right.
Grace Wasoli, SECsports.com. This one's for Taylor. Your 86 RBI this season are tied for the most in program history with Jocelyn from last year. So just curious if you could talk a little bit about your relationship with her, if it's more competitive or mentorship, and what that's like for you.
I've been playing with Joss for a long time. I got to be her teammate my sophomore year, and we got to win an Alliance championship together. And I think being able to have our paths cross again in college and make it here nonetheless is really, really, really cool. And honestly, I think Joss is just somebody that every team needs. She's somebody that's very level-headed. She'll keep you calm when the moment gets a little bit too big. And she's just always there to remind me that I'm meant to be where I am, that I belong here. So Joss has been really, really special to my process, and I really appreciate her.
All right, that'll wrap things up. Thank you, Florida.
Thank you.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.
A reminder
Go Gators.
from Hammond Communications will post a recording of the press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you.